Artemis II is about to send humans into situations no one has ever experienced before. For more than 50 years, no astronaut traveled beyond low Earth orbit. Since 1972, every crewed mission stayed inside Earth's protective magnetic field. Generations grew up with space stations, shuttle launches, and robotic probes, but no human went back into deep space. Now that changes. Artemis II is not a continuation of Apollo. It is not a sequel mission repeating history. It represents a different technological era, a different philosophy of exploration, and a completely new approach to surviving beyond Earth. Let's start with something simple: space inside the spacecraft. The Apollo Command Module gave 3 astronauts about 210 cubic feet of habitable volume. That is roughly the size of a large closet. 3 people lived in that confined space for up to 2 weeks. Orion, the spacecraft flying Artemis II, provides about 330 cubic feet for 4 astronauts. That is nearly 60% more room. It is still compact and still demanding, but that additional volume changes how the crew functions day to day. For the first time on a lunar mission, astronauts have a dedicated hygiene compartment with a modern waste management system similar to the one used aboard the International Space Station. Apollo crews relied on adhesive collection bags used in full view of each other. Many astronauts later described it as one of the least pleasant aspects of spaceflight. Artemis II astronauts will not face that problem. Privacy and sanitation have evolved along with everything else. Exercise is another major difference. Apollo astronauts did not work out in space. The missions were short, and NASA accepted the muscle and bone loss as manageable. There simply was not enough room for exercise equipment. Artemis II includes a compact flywheel resistance device that allows astronauts to perform squats, rows, and other strength exercises in zero gravity. It weighs about 30 pounds and fits into a small storage area, yet it provides meaningful resistance. Instead of returning home physically weakened, the Artemis crew will maintain muscle strength during the journey. That alone highlights how much mission planning has advanced. The rocket launching them is also more powerful than the one that carried Apollo crews. While Saturn V defined an era, the Space Launch System produces even greater thrust at liftoff. Both rockets are expendable heavy lift systems, but Orion sitting on top represents a generational shift. Apollo spacecraft generated electricity using fuel cells. Once reactants were consumed, power margins narrowed. Orion unfolds large solar arrays once in space, generating continuous electrical power as long as sunlight is available. That regenerative capability allows for stronger redundancy and greater flexibility in spacecraft operations. Another difference is international collaboration. Apollo was a national effort. Artemis is global. The Orion service module was built in Europe. A Canadian astronaut is part of the Artemis II crew. Future lunar missions will include hardware contributions from multiple international partners. Deep space exploration is no longer a single nation's project. Inside Orion, the computational difference is dramatic. Apollo's guidance computer operated with about 72 kilobytes of memory. Today, even simple devices exceed that capacity by millions of times. Orion's flight computers are tens of thousands of times more capable than Apollo systems. The cockpit is fully digital, using advanced displays and software-driven interfaces rather than rows of analog switches. Apollo astronauts depended heavily on mission control for calculations and trajectory updates. Orion is designed to function with far greater autonomy. Artemis II astronauts are actively testing manual piloting modes in deep space, preparing for a future where communication delays make real-time assistance from Earth impractical. Communication itself has changed. Apollo relied entirely on radio transmission. Bandwidth was limited. Images took significant time to send. Orion carries laser communication technology capable of transmitting high volumes of data at far greater speeds. High-resolution imagery from deep space can be delivered far more efficiently than ever before. The view of the moon will also be different. Apollo crews flew relatively low over the lunar surface, seeing terrain in close detail. Artemis II follows a trajectory that allows astronauts to view the entire lunar disk at once during flyby. They will observe regions and lighting angles no human has directly seen before due to differences in mission timing and geometry. Artemis II is also designed to exceed the farthest distance any human has ever traveled from Earth. That record currently belongs to the Apollo 13 crew, achieved during an emergency return trajectory. Artemis II will surpass that distance intentionally, turning what was once a crisis maneuver into a standard mission design. Then comes reentry. Orion will strike Earth's atmosphere at speeds higher than any previous crewed spacecraft. The heat shield will endure extreme temperatures while plasma surrounds the vehicle and temporarily blocks communication. For several minutes, the crew will be completely isolated from Earth. It is a reminder that even with modern technology, the final phase of deep space travel still demands trust in engineering. There is also a human milestone aboard this mission. Artemis II includes the first woman and the first person of color to travel beyond low Earth orbit, as well as the first non-American astronaut assigned to a lunar mission. Apollo reflected the astronaut corps of its time. Artemis reflects a broader representation of humanity. Beyond symbolism, there is science happening inside the cabin. The crew is being closely monitored to measure the biological effects of deep space radiation. Outside Earth's magnetic field, astronauts are exposed to higher levels of cosmic radiation. Modern sensors track sleep cycles, cardiovascular response, and radiation dosage in far more detail than during Apollo. The data collected will shape mission planning for future journeys, including Mars. For the first time in history, 4 humans are traveling in deep space simultaneously. Apollo missions carried 3 beyond Earth orbit. Artemis II expands that number, marking the largest human presence ever this far from home. And then there is the silence. When Orion passes behind the moon, communication with Earth will stop. No signal can penetrate the lunar mass. For a period of time, the crew will be completely cut off. Apollo astronauts experienced that same silence decades ago. That part has not changed. The moon still blocks radio waves. Space is still vast and quiet. But everything surrounding that silence is new. Apollo proved that humans could reach the moon. Artemis is testing the systems that will allow humans to build a sustained presence beyond Earth. Life support, navigation, communication, radiation monitoring, re-entry systems, all of it is being validated not just for a flyby, but for long-duration missions in the future. This mission is not about repeating history. It is about extending it. Right now, 4 astronauts are farther from Earth than anyone has been in more than half a century. They are flying in a spacecraft more advanced than anything Apollo engineers could have imagined. Yet at its core, the challenge remains the same. A sealed capsule, air to breathe, water to drink, protection from heat, radiation, and vacuum, and a safe return home. The silence behind the moon remains unchanged. Everything else has moved forward. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to explore deep space? For over 50 years, humans have stayed within low Earth orbit. The last crewed mission beyond that was in 1972. Astronauts experienced thrilling adventures on space stations and shuttles, but not in deep space. That's all about to change with Artemis II. Unlike the Apollo missions, Artemis II isn't a repeat of history. It's a leap into a new era of space exploration, powered by advanced technology and international collaboration. Let's break it down. First, space aboard the Artemis II spacecraft, Orion, is significantly more spacious. Apollo's command module cramped 3 astronauts into about 210 cubic feet. In contrast, Orion offers around 330 cubic feet for 4 astronauts, almost 60% more room. This extra space allows for better daily living. For the first time on a lunar mission, astronauts will have a private hygiene compartment with modern waste management. Remember the uncomfortable days of Apollo's collection bags? Those are gone. Next up is exercise. Apollo crews skipped workouts, accepting muscle loss as a risk. Artemis II includes a compact exercise device. This allows astronauts to maintain strength with exercises like squats and rows in zero gravity. The technology behind Artemis II is a giant leap forward. The Space Launch System rocket delivers more thrust than Saturn V, making significant advancements in space travel. Power generation has advanced too. Apollo relied on limited fuel cells. Orion utilizes large solar arrays in space, providing continuous electrical power and enhanced operational reliability. Collaboration has also evolved. While Apollo is a national effort, Artemis is truly global. International partners contribute hardware, including the European-built Orion service module. What about computing? Apollo's guidance system operated with just 72 kilobytes of memory. Orion's systems are tens of thousands of times more powerful. Its digital interfaces and autonomous operation drastically simplify navigation. Communication has transformed as well. Apollo missions used limited radio transmission for data transfer. Orion now employs laser communication technology, enabling faster and more efficient data exchanges. As for viewing the Moon, Artemis II will allow astronauts to observe the entire lunar disk during flyby. They will explore regions of the Moon unseen by earlier missions due to different flight paths. Also, Artemis II is set to break the record for the farthest distance traveled by humans from Earth, previously established during Apollo 13's emergency return. As Orion re-enters Earth's atmosphere, it will do so at unprecedented speeds. The heat shield must withstand extreme temperatures, isolating the crew from Earth for crucial moments. On a historic note, this mission includes the first woman and the first person of color to venture beyond low Earth orbit, showcasing a more diverse representation in space exploration. Science is also at the core of this mission. Crews will monitor the impacts of deep space radiation, gathering critical data for future human explorations, including missions to Mars. For the first time, 4 astronauts will travel simultaneously in deep space. This marks the largest human presence ever so far from home. And when Orion passes behind the Moon, the crew will experience silence, a reminder that space remains vast and quiet. The goal of Artemis II is clear. It's about testing systems and paving the way for a sustained human presence beyond Earth. As 4 astronauts journey farther than anyone has in over 50 years, they fly in a spacecraft that embodies the future of space exploration. In its essence, the challenge is the same: air to breathe, water to drink, and protection from the vastness of space, all while ensuring a safe return home. Join us in witnessing history in the making with Artemis II. Follow along and discover the future of human space exploration.